Hey folks, welcome back to Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. Hey folks, welcome back to Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. Most people think law and order is a switch, on or off, civilization or chaos. But that's not how it works. The rule of law isn't a light bulb. It's a system. And like any system, it can be strong or it can be under pressure. Most days, you don't notice it because when it works, it's invisible. You assume someone will answer the call. You assume someone will show up. You assume problems will stay small. But not every place carries the same load. Some communities are calm. Some are stretched, thinner than they look. We're not talking about collapse. We're talking about pressure. Because preparedness isn't about fear. It's about understanding the environment you live in before the pressure builds. Hey folks, welcome back to Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. Today, W.R.O.L, Volume 3. We're covering the Hudson Valley today, from Albany to Westchester. When people hear about W.R.O.L, they think about it kind of turning on and off like a switch, right? They think about collapse, chaos, Mad Max. It's really not what we're talking about. Without rule of law isn't really a switch, but it's like a pressure gauge, I guess we'll call it. And that pressure gauge is very different depending upon where you live here in the Hudson Valley. Now, without rule of law at 100% is like total and complete societal breakdown, right? There's nothing left, no responders. You dial 911 and you just get a busy signal if you even get that. Nobody's answering, nobody's coming. That is 100% without rule of law. This is not that. This is a stress index, right? And it's important to know that 100% without rule of law isn't happening anywhere here in New York State currently. This is a stress index. This tells you how stressed your systems are and how much you should be concerned about somebody being able to respond to you, right? So I think that's a great point to make before we really dive into this video. I have capped this scale at 65%. So if you get to 65%, things are pretty freaking bad in your neck of the woods. The scale starts at 10% because, honestly, is there any place that's really completely and totally crime-free? No. We all know that. So we walk around with our guard up, right? This formula that I've come up with measures crime pressure, overdose, and healthcare strain. It also includes system capacity, so the response times, court backlogs and things like that, and populations, right? Population density and population is one of the biggest factors. But important to note that the scale is capped at 65% and starts at 10%. So check out the little graph we've got right here. Now, the Hudson Valley is definitely not one uniform environment. There's two major stress centers in the Hudson Valley: downstate, where the population is really dense, and Albany in the Capital District, where again the population is really dense. We're gonna start down in Westchester and Rockland, and then we're gonna move up to the Mid Hudson. Then we're gonna move up to the Albany Rensselaer area, right? Rural counties don't face the same system load that you would get in a urban center or a highly suburban place, right? They're not seeing those constant calls. They're not out of the station every 5 minutes. Our trucks here have to get refueled, go out and run them. You know, they haven't left in a while. So important things to factor. Now, if you're rural, important things to factor are response times. They're typically extended a bit because of how rural we are and how long it takes folks. Most folks are volunteers in rural areas, so they've got to get to the station, get in the car, and then get their ass to you to help you out. So response times take a little bit longer out here. That's factored into this equation as well. Well, we can start. Well, we might as well start at the top, right? Screw it. Let's start in Albany. Albany County. It's one of the higher percentages of without rule of law in the Hudson Valley, and it's due to the urban center. It's due to higher violent and property crime than the surrounding counties. It's due to the courts and services under more constant pressure. Albany County, I'm going to put at 42% without rule of law. The next one we're going to move on to is Rensselaer County. These are the worst. We're going with the worst first, and then we're going to work our way back to the good. All right. Rensselaer County, 34% without rule of law, and that's due to the spillover in Troy and more strain than the rural neighborhoods. The next one we're going to move on to Westchester County. Westchester County, I've got at 32% without rule of law, and that's due to the dense population, the proximity to the NYC crime ecosystem. A lot of people will run out of the city to Westchester to hide out from NYPD, right? It's still very functional, but there is a very high system workload. Our mid-range counties, 30%, we have Orange County. Orange County's at 30%, Dutchess County at 28%, and Sullivan County at 27%. Those three are very close proximity because they all have smaller cities, and those tend to drive the stats up as far as WROL is concerned. There's a lot of drug-related strain in these counties. They're still very livable, but it's not the sleepy backwoods countryside everywhere you go. You could find yourself in an urban center and maybe not such a good neighborhood. Now, our lower stressed counties here in the Hudson Valley, Columbia County, 20%. That's one of the lowest on the rate here. Greene County at 21%. Putnam County matching Columbia County at 20%, and Ulster County coming in at 24%. Now, that's all due to the lower population densities in these counties. They don't have a lot of people, so there's a lot less pressure. And there's lower violent crime in all of these counties, and they have faster responses, reliable in most areas. Now, again, we get back to that rural where if you're way out there, if you're 20 minutes from the fire station, when they get there, it's going to take them 20 minutes to get to you after they get suited up. So something to consider, right? Now, it's important to know that higher without rule of law percentage doesn't mean you need to leave immediately. It means that you should expect slower response times. You should expect to see repeat offenders back out on the streets. It means you should expect services to be strained during problem times, right? That's what a higher without rule of law percentage means. This is a preparedness based channel, and preparedness isn't about panic. It's not about do things when the threat is at your door. It's about knowing your environment. It's about getting ahead of problems and seeing them before they're coming, right? That's what this without rule of law percentage is all about. It is something that I have come up with this formula with ChatGPT, and we're going to have a pinned comment down in the links below that you can copy and paste into your preferred, AI agent and come up with your without rule of law percentage for your area. There's a lot of things included in this, but it's important to know that this isn't a government number. This is something that I've come up with myself through ChatGPT. It's a capped stressed indexed based on crime rates, overdose pressure, and system strain. And it's scaled so modern America doesn't look quite like a war zone. The formula graphic It's here. You guys have to check it out. Use the WROL prompt that I will share in the description, and you can get these numbers in your neck of the woods. You just got to type in the right things in the right places. It's taken me close to a month to get this down. Even working with an AI freaking helper here, it's not as easy as it seems. There's a lot of calculation. There's a lot of making sure you ask this thing the right things to get the information that you need to help you be better prepared. Everybody's worried about the AI apocalypse. Right now, I'm trying to use it to help me in my preparedness and help you in your preparedness by coming up with these numbers, right? It's smarter than me. It can research faster than me. It can do things that would take me months and seconds. And I got to put it to work, right? Before it takes everything over and makes everything crap, I'm going to use it for some good right now and try and get the best out of it I can. It's important to know the rule of law is not gone, but it's not under equal pressure everywhere either. And preparedness starts with understanding that pressure before it becomes a problem. Please don't let it become a problem. This has been Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, and this is your without rule of law percentage for the Hudson Valley in New York. Y'all stay safe. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, out of here. The rule of law in the Hudson Valley isn't gone, but it isn't under equal pressure everywhere either. Some places are calm and stable. Some are stretched a little thinner. Some are carrying more weight than most people realize. And that's the point of this. Not fear, not panic, not the end is near. Just awareness. Because preparedness isn't about assuming collapse tomorrow. It's about understanding the environment you live in today, where systems are strong, where they're strained, where small problems could grow faster than expected. You don't need to live in the lowest WROL percentage county to be safe. You just need to understand your surroundings and prepare accordingly. Stay aware, stay capable, stay ahead of the curve. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival.